Patriots-Steelers game, we cannot exaggerate, we cannot use enough hyperbole just how important that was.
Okay.
New England now controls that home seed, and they also have almost like a two-game lead because they beat them head-to-head. Jacksonville, though, beat the Steelers head-to-head earlier this year in Pittsburgh. So
those 5 picks.
Yes, if the Steelers and the Jags were to finish with the same record, the Jaguars have the tiebreaker over the Steelers, meaning the Jaguars would have a bye, and the Jaguars would have a home playoff game.
Whoa!
All right.
Yeah, Peter, also with the Antonio Brown injury, they want that bye. They want another week to get him right, the
Steelers now need to win the next 2 weeks, and those games are winnable. We'll get into that. Chiefs, pretty comfortable right now because they now have beaten the Chargers twice. They're a game above. They'll be okay there. Then we get to the wild card. The Titans are currently the 5 seed, and if they win out, they still have a 95% chance of making it.
Okay.
All right?
All on them then.
And even with one loss, they still have a 76% chance of still making it.
Wow.
Because the Titans have beaten the Ravens head-to-head, and they've beaten the Jaguars head-to-head, which leads to the Bills. The Bills, if they win out, 96% chance of making it. All right. If they lose one game, 53% chance of making it. The Bills, however, have lost to the Patriots and lost to the Chargers. The biggest part about that Bills deal right there, they play the Patriots in Foxborough next week. So as much as we're celebrating the Bills being in, they put, let's go to the Ravens.
Okay.
Ravens are in the hunt right now. They're on the outside looking in. They have a Saturday game against the Colts at 4:30 on NFL Network. They should be able to handle their business there. They have beaten the Dolphins head-to-head. However, they have lost to the Jaguars head-to-head, and they have lost to the Titans head-to-head, and they have lost both times to the Steelers head-to-head. So currently, the Titans, despite these 2 horrendous losses to the Cardinals and the 49ers back-to-back, have the edge over the Ravens.
Seriously?
Because they beat the Ravens head-to-head earlier this season. Ravens still on the outside looking in, but this is the point. If the Ravens win out, they're in. If they win out, they're in. So if the Ravens control their own destiny, if they win the final 2 games of their season against the Colts, right? They got to take care of that on Saturday. And on Sunday, you'll see there on that graphic, they play the Bengals at home. The Bengals have mailed it in the last 2 weeks. The Ravens control their own destiny.
Are you open for questions?
I am open for questions. Let me get all my apparatuses out.
Patriots win out.
Yes.
They play the Jets. You said they play the Bills in Foxborough next week. They end the season against the Jets. Do they get home field no matter what?
Patriots win out. They have home field advantage throughout the playoffs.
That's big.
That AFC Championship game, if they win, is in Foxborough.
Okay, I got a couple things.
Yeah.
Wouldn't it be just so heartbreakingly Buffalo if they were out of the playoffs because of that Nathan Peterman?
Yeah, which we're getting. People are tweeting us about it all the time.
One game, and they lost that game
and
to
that's
the
what
Chargers.
You're thinking about.
Saturday night, the game was. We were all at Saturday. We get to talk about Chiefs Chargers. I was at an ugly Christmas sweater party. They still have them. I was at one.
Talk about 2007.
I know exactly. I have to give the Chiefs incredible credit. I thought the Chargers were a fun, cool story, and I kind of want to see it happen. The Chiefs were incredible. That was the Marcus Peters game. Last year, the Chiefs had the Eric Berry game. That was the Marcus Peters game. Huge effort and a huge night. Full credit to the Chiefs. Awesome.
So the Chargers, 1 loss and they're done. They're eliminated. Okay?
Okay.
39% chance, though, if they win out and get in. So they still have a shot.
Okay. But these percentages helps.
Great. I love the percentages.
Yeah. So,
39's not good.
So Ravens, they're on the outside looking in right now, but if they win out, they're good.
Okay.
All right. The Titans, though, if things get iffy, have the edge on the Ravens because the Titans beat the Ravens earlier this season. And then the Bills, as pretty as it sounds to say that they're okay, they're 8-6, they're
Foxborough.
They got Foxborough this week. I don't know.
You want to have something to say about Tyrod Taylor?
No, I'm not. Nothing to say. We'll see what happens at the end of the season. Okay. That one game could come back to bite you, though.
Could Buffalo beat New England in New England?
No.
No.
No, they've never given us any reason to think that they could do that. I'd love to see it. It'd be a great story, but not yet. I can't believe in that.
It would throw this AFC playoff picture into such a tizzy.
Why? What does that do?
LaShawn McCoy is so good, though.
Okay, because if the Jaguars win out and the Patriots lose their last 2 games, the Jaguars would be the 1 seed in the AFC.
The Pats would have to lose to the Jets, too?
Yes.
The Pats would have to lose back-to-back AFC East opponents. It would be a huge choke.
Yes. But the Jaguars are alive, baby!
I see what you're doing, Peter.
The Jags beating the Steelers in that Sumner game was huge.
Massive.
I didn't think that when that game was played, but now looking back on it, that's everything.
The Jaguars can beat the Patriots.
Looking at the playoff picture, Schrags, what's changed?
The Eagles winning puts them in a really good spot because the Vikings now are a game back, and because the Eagles beat the Rams and the Panthers and have not lost to any of those current playoff teams, they are in sole position of first place. Now, the Vikings are the second seed, but they have beaten the Saints, they've beaten the Rams, they've beaten the Falcons, they've beaten the Lions one time. That helps them. The Rams, however, have beaten the Saints. They've beaten the Cowboys, but they lost to the Vikings. So you look at those 4 teams stacked, and why are the Saints below the Rams? Well, the Rams beat the Saints earlier this year. So when you go through the playoff picture, it is head-to-head, right? Then it's conference record, then it's shared opponent's record. The wild card teams gets a lot more interesting. And the Falcons game tonight, you might think Monday night, Falcons versus the Bucs. Who cares? It is huge.
All right.
It is huge because the Falcons currently are hanging on to that last spot, and they have already had head-to-head wins over the Seahawks, the Packers, and the Lions, and they also have beaten the Cowboys. So all of those teams in that last 4th column, the Falcons have the edge over. So they just have to continue to win. They'll be straight. Now, look, the Falcons have an interesting deal where if they win their last 2 games, no matter what happens, right? Their last 3 games, I'm sorry. If they win the last 3 games, no matter what happens, the Falcons win the NFC South, which is just crazy. They've been coming all the way from back from behind, but that's possible. And I'll tell you what, the Atlanta Falcons are very interesting right now, but the Cowboys fans watching, we got that win last night. I got to be a bit of a realist here. Even with Zeke coming back with 2 games left, 35% chance to get in if they win out. It's that hard.
They've won 3 in a row.
They've won 3 in a row, and they've looked great, but because they lost to the Rams, the Falcons, the Eagles, and the Packers, those are the teams they're battling. They have none of those tiebreakers. The Cowboys, it's a long road.
Yeah, the meat of the season is the middle part, and I would always hear coaches say, you don't want to let these games slip because once we get towards the end of the season, you're gonna need them, and you're going to be looking at the scoreboard hoping that so many different things happen in order for you to get in, and that's where we find these teams that are in the hunt column. But you know what team is interesting to me? The Carolina Panthers. And the talent that they have, and Cam Newton, like, I look at Cam Newton kind of like I looked at Russell Wilson. He won't allow his team to win, but he has a healthier squad around him. And then defensively, they got so many playmakers. Carolina Panthers, that's the team you really need to worry about.